If you're a volleyball coach, you know this feeling. It's the big match, a crucial point, and all of a sudden, it's like your athlete's skills just disappear. Well, today, we're diving into a system that's designed to coach the other half of the game, the one that happens inside an athlete's head. This is our explainer on the Mental Performance and Skills System, or MPSS.
Okay, let's just jump right in. We've all seen it, right? It's 22 all. The athlete who was crushing it in warm-ups is now tight, hesitant, just fighting themselves. That is the hidden game. And for years, the answer was just to shout, "Be mentally tough." But MPS is built on a totally different idea, moving from mental toughness to mental adaptability. In this slide, this really gets to the heart of the whole philosophy. See, performance is never a straight line. It's a wave. It rises and falls with momentum, with frustration, with adrenaline. The goal isn't to fight that wave, but to teach your athletes how to ride it, how to work within it, and turn that pressure into the very place where they actually learn and grow.
Which brings us to the question every single coach has asked themselves. What do you do when that normal wave, that swell, turns into a downward spiral? When one mistake just bleeds into the next, and an athlete's confidence completely vanishes, right there in front of your eyes. And here's the answer. The Flow MPSS framework isn't about cheesy motivational slogans. No, it's a complete system with real, practical skills like STOP, which is an acronym for Stop, Take a Breath, Observe, and Proceed. It's designed to give athletes actual tools they can use to break that spiral and get back in control under pressure. So to actually fix a performance breakdown, you first have to understand why it's even happening. And MPSS is built on this core idea that every single action on the court, every pass, every swing, every decision, it's all driven by an athlete's internal system. And this part is absolutely key. The skills are pretty much useless if an athlete doesn't get their own internal game, so before you can teach them how to fix a breakdown, you both need to understand why it's happening. Think of it like this. Insight is the compass, and the skills are just the tools you use to get where you need to go.
And that why is all rooted in these 5 core abilities. You can think of them as the operating system running inside every athlete. For example, the emotion of frustration after a bad serve might trigger a negative cognition or a story like, "I'm letting my team down." Well, that story then hijacks their attention, which changes their interoception. Maybe their chest gets tight, their breathing gets shallow, and that leads to a hesitant behavior on the very next play. You see? They're all connected.
And this all leads to a really powerful shift in how we think about coaching this stuff. Train the system, not the traits. In other words, you don't directly teach resilience or focus. Instead, by training these 5 core abilities, those crucial intangibles like emotional regulation, being able to stabilize your attention, and even relational trust, they just naturally emerge as a result.
So, the big question is, how do you train that internal system? Well, the foundation of it all is meditation. But, and this is a big but, not in the spiritual sit-on-a-cushion sense you might be picturing. In the MPSS world, meditation is a cognitive skill, pure and simple. It's the trained ability to notice a thought or a feeling without being swept away by it.
Let's make this super clear. On the left, you've got the common misconceptions, that it's about clearing your mind or trying to feel calm. That's not it. The MPSS view, on the right, sees it as functional attention training. It's not about being perfectly silent. It's about the simple act of returning your focus again and again. That's what builds the mental muscle you need for every other skill.
Okay, so we've covered the why behind the system. Now let's get into the what, the actual practical toolkit that brings this whole thing to life for coaches, for athletes, and yeah, even for parents.
The NPSS isn't just a single book. It's a whole ecosystem. You've got the coach manual, which is our main focus here. Then there's the athlete manual, which speaks their language. The visual atlas gives you quick reference diagrams for those visual learners. And the pocket guide is perfect for on-the-go reminders. They all work together to build a shared language for your entire program.
And I really want to stress this. This system is built for the court. You do not need a degree in psychology to use this. The language is practical, the concepts are teachable, and every single tool is designed to be used immediately in your drills and in your timeouts.
All right, let's get even more practical. How do you actually use this stuff day-to-day in the gym? Well, the manuals are just packed with worksheets and appendices that are designed to turn these ideas into real, repeatable habits.
There's a quote in the manual that just says it all. Insight alone doesn't change athletes.
Application does, and application requires structure. Think about it. Mental skills develop exactly like physical ones do, through clear instruction, lots of practice, and being able to pull them up quickly under pressure. And that is exactly what the worksheet system is built to do.
And this slide breaks down that process into 3 simple parts. First, you teach the concept using a worksheet. Then, you reinforce it during practice with simple cues, and the goal is for that skill to become effortless recall during a match. It's a really clear pathway from just understanding something to making it a habit.
Now this is a really cool part. Where the main chapters of the manual teach the skills, the appendices are designed to teach the coach's eye. They're like the backstage architecture, helping you diagnose what's really going on under the surface and teaching you what to look for in real time.
And they are just jam-packed with practical tools, verbal and nonverbal cueing systems you can use from the sideline, MPSS practice drills that plug right into your current practice plan so you don't have to reinvent the wheel, guides for using stats to figure out why performance broke down, and a full glossary. It's really the functional backbone of the entire system.
So the bottom line is this. MPSS isn't some extra thing you have to cram into your already packed practice plan. It's designed to live inside the coaching rhythm you already use. You see an issue, like tense shoulders on serve receive. You give a simple cue, like a signal for a deep breath, and you repeat it. It just integrates right into what you're already doing.
Okay, so how can you get started? The best place to begin is the website, flowmpc.com. That's FLOMPCC.com. You can find way more information there, some extra content, and a ton of awesome free resources, like printable worksheets and skill cards for your team.
And when you're ready to implement the full system, all 4 manuals, the one for coaches, the one for athletes, the visual atlas, and that handy pocket guide, they're all available for purchase directly on Amazon.
And that really brings us to the final question. After seeing how this system works, how it builds adaptable athletes from the inside out, the only thing left to ask is this: is your team ready to master the game inside their head?